So now we have here the greatest truth in chapter 3 of book 3, the house of spirit and the new creation. This is the supreme achievement of Ashwapati. Supreme achievement. Actually, only one who is the incarnate supreme, he alone can do this thing. And this thing is the new creation. That is the supreme achievement. The entire purpose of Ashwapati's incarnation, of taking human birth and of doing yoga tapasya, is to establish a new creation in Satchitananda, in the transcendent, in the house of the spirit. Unless there is something in Satchitananda, in the transcendent, it cannot be here. You want divine life here on earth, all the very beautiful things, whatnot. They cannot be here unless they are up there first. Life divine on earth is possible only when you have established the seeds of life divine in the transcendent. Cast the seeds of transcendent, and it is there which will then sprout here upon earth, grow here. So what, really speaking, in a way, we miss in Sri Aurobindo's magnum opus, The Life Divine, is this fact that he has established the new creation up there. That he does not talk at all in the whole of Life Divine. He talks about how it will happen upon earth. How it will happen upon earth in the Life Divine, etc. So in that sense, I will say, it is in Savitri alone you get the totality of the whole picture of the Life Divine. Totality of the whole picture in the Life Divine. There cannot be anything upon earth unless it is up there. That is a fundamental thing. So if you want Life Divine upon earth, you first establish Life Divine up there. So the whole purpose of Ashwapati Yoga is to do that. Actually, there are three aspects of Ashwapati's Yoga. The first aspect is he takes the human birth, the mortal birth, and then kind of explores the entire hierarchy of the cosmic existence. All the cosmic dimensions, explore what is here. Actually, he is not going from plane to plane and exploring all those things as a traveler, as a sightseeing person. It is not that alone. Yes, it is like this here. Yes, it is like this here. It is not that kind of a photographic description in which he is interested. The purpose of his long cosmic journey, traveling through the entire hierarchy of plane, is while he is going from plane to plane, he is leaving behind in each plane his own dynamic presence. He goes to the world of matter, he goes to the world of life, he goes to the world of mind, he goes to all the worlds. Behind them, while he is traveling, he leaves his personal presence there behind. That is the whole purpose, music purpose of Ashwapati's traveler, Ashwapati as a traveler of the worlds. He is not simply going as a tourist from place to place, you see. He is leaving behind at every place his presence. Now it is that presence which is important for subsequent other things to follow. So what he does is, he goes to the entire hierarchy of planes. He creates a new world up there in the transcendent. In that sense, his job is almost complete. He has created support, he has created Adhara Bhumi to bring down the Satambi world upon earth. He creates the Satambi world up there. Now, the third element is, alright, Ashwapati can do only that. It is not his business, it is not his job, it is not within his parameters to bring that world down himself upon earth. No, he won't do that. That task is the task of the Divine Shakti, the executive force. His task is to create the ground for that world. And that is what he has done. Established his presence. Now that presence becomes kind of a support, Adhar, base for her work, her operation. So wherever she goes, yes, the divine presence is there, the dynamic presence is there. It is on that she stands and carries out her work. So now, at this point, what we are concerned is the new creation in the transcendent, you see. Once done, then the task becomes simple for him. All he has to do is approach that executive supreme power. Please come and now do your job. I have done my thing. It is not my business, it is not my assignment, it is not in my purview to bring down myself, that creation. No, it is your work. The dynamic aspect is her part of it, you see. So this is what we will do in the last canto of this book, Division and the Bone. We will approach her and tell, Madam, now everything is ready for you. Please come down and carry out your work. Carry out your work. She starts arguing first with him, but then he compels her. No, you have to take, if this new creation has to get established upon earth, it cannot be done unless you take mortal birth. It is not by simply remaining up there. You have to come down here and then carry out the work. And from that point onward, then the work of Savitri begins. From that point on, she comes to Savitri and then work. So practically I have about 12,000 lines are towards this new creation and prayer to the Divine Mother to take the mortal birth of Ashwapati. The remaining 12,000 lines are what Savitri is going to do. You see, this is what we are seeing all the 12,000 lines. That is why it is a mighty task. Ashwapati has done many things. All kind of unique experiences he has traveling throughout the world. This, whatnot, you see. But that is nothing compared to bringing down this new, establishing a new creation and bringing it down. That is the mighty task. In fact, that is the mightiest task. That is the mightiest task. So, in relationship with this one, all his other achievements look relatively small. Relatively small. Maybe that 10% of the entire job, but this 90% is here. You see. Therefore, a mighty, you see how careful he is, saying mighty here. He has already done mighty things. He has already done mighty things. But that is not sufficient. Sorry, that won't do those things. That won't do. Remain then all he had done. What is all he had done? The exploration, that all, climbing up, establishing the Adhar, the support, the base of our work. All he had done. That is a real long tapasya of his. So, when that tapasya is there, when that support is created here, then only the divine Shakti can come in the work, you see. If that support is not there, then under the pressure of her activity, the whole thing is sink down. It is not able to bear the weight of her movement, you see. Okay, so we start with this canto 3 now. So before we start, let me give some statistics. Yeah. This canto has 6 sections. This is the longest canto in the book. This is the longest canto, 6 sections, 131 sentences in all, and 573 lines, total number of lines, 573 lines. The last canto has 509 lines. This is the longest canto compared to the last. The other 2 cantos were really small.
When was it written? When did she write this?
This was written more or less before 1944. All. These are all written before.
So during the war.
Yeah, you see, actually, after his accident, when he got alright, the first thing which he did was revise the life divine. Revise the life divine. Life divine in the Arya, all those things. He took up the work of life divine after the accident. And that was over by 1940-41. In fact, life divine had come for the first time from Kolkata Arya Publishing House in 3 volumes at that time. 3 big elephants in those days, you see. They used to walk into the room for his signatures, autograph, you see. When that was over, then he started concentrating entirely, as his literary work, on Savitri alone. Savitri alone. There were a few earlier drafts here and there and all that. He started systematizing them, organizing them, going through them again and again, recasting many of those things. So, by and large, the entire book 3, from 41 to 44, roughly, was complete. After that, after 44, 45, then the second part and the third part was taken up, you see. But his main, and the fine part is, the beautiful thing is that practically this whole of book 1, part 1 is in his own handwriting. He made a number of drafts in his own handwriting, copying, recopying, rewriting, revising, all that he did in his own handwriting, you see. But at that time, his eyesight became weak, and then Nirodharan became his scribe. So the first thing which Nirodharan did was, all the manuscripts which were there in his own handwriting, he made a fair copy by writing down those things in a ledger, you see. And when that ledger was prepared, it was again read out to Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo dictate few more lines, add some more lines. So his manuscript then neurobalance leisure, then that thing is to go for typing, Kundalini, and the tight shift again is to go back to Shavendo for correction, reading, purification or whatever it is. And at every stage he kept on adding more lines at that point, you see. In fact, even after that, when these cantos started coming out in the ashram magazines, then Pathanjali, or in the form of individual fascicles, we started coming in the form of individual fascicles. At every stage, again, the manuscript was without the fascicle proofs were allowed to share, we would add more lines, do this, do that, etc., with correction. So that kind of thing went on back and forth continuously. So in that sense, I would say maximum attention was paid to part 1 of Savitri. In that sense. But that, I would say, that was from 41 to 44 roughly, that period, you see. Afterwards, I mean, there will be 1%, 2% addition changes and all that kind of thing, which went on happening, you see. In fact, even now, even after this one, had he gone to see once more, he might have had a window, you see. Yeah, he wouldn't, you see. So what you see is that in part 1, there is a kind of a density of expression in Savitri than what we have in part 2 and part 3. The remaining half of Savitri, you see. Because that was practically dictated. Here you are concentrating personally himself, paying attention to everything, so it became more and more dense, luminous, solid, so to say. Whereas in the second part, there is a flow, lyricism, movement of a different kind. The poetry is of a different nature in this part and the other two parts, you see. The total number of lines in book 3, 1457, so, it's a small book, relatively, you see. It does not take more than 90 minutes to read the whole of book 3, all the 4 cantos. If you sit down quietly, with little practice, if you have read number of times, even 1.5 hours, you can read the whole book, you see. So, that is an accurate task in the context of the new creation. In the house of the spirit, in Satchidananda. To that he turned from which all being comes. You see, whatever is here is coming from that. So naturally, if you want a new creation here, you have to turn there, you have to do something there. To that he turned from which all being comes. A sign attending for secrecy. All being comes, that itself is a sign of something which is secret. What is a secret? The potential, the non-manifest or the unknowable. This sign is his creation. His sign is the creation. Secrecy. That is a total secrecy, that unknowable. The pursuit of unknowable. A sign attending from the secrecy which know the truth and grasp behind our thoughts and guards the world with its all-seeing gaze. The secrecy that unknowable alone corrects you. He knows truth, obviously, which knows the truth and grasp behind our thought. We cannot grasp that truth because it is a secrecy. Obviously. We cannot penetrate. We don't have a clue at all for that. What we can do is, we can only read the sign. this creation, whatever they motivate, that is only a sign, indication, pointer. And cast the world with its all-seeing gaze in the unapproachable stillness of his soul, unapproachable stillness of his soul. He's so quiet, so quiet, so quiet. Nothing can be approached. That is why? Because he is looking at the secrecy. He is kind of simply gazing at it. It is kind of stillness, ungraspable. And the unapproachable stillness of his soul, intense, one-pointed, monumental, lone, patient. So he is piling up adjectives. How many adjectives? Intense, one-pointed, monumental, lone, patient. He sat like an incarnate hope. So he himself is the incarnation. He is hope now. Sat like an incarnate hope. What hope? That secrecy will reveal something of hers, of its. That is the hope. The secrecy will tell us something. So, some sign, some hint, some indication, some clue. Patient is that like an incarnate hope. What a phrase, incarnate hope, you see. Motionless on a pedestal of prayer. Like a statue standing there of prayer. His prayer, he is so calm, his intensity of prayer that there is absolutely no moment at all. The prayer is again for the secrecy to reveal something of hers. Patient is like an incarnate hope, motionless on a pedestal of prayer. What a line, what poetry also. Motionless on a pedestal of prayer. A strength he sought. What that prayer, what is that hope? It is for strength. He sought that are not yet on earth, held from a power too great for mortal will. The light of a truth now only seen for, that is what he is seeking. He is seeking strength, he is seeking power, he is seeking light of a truth that only is far away. A sanction from the omnipotent soul. That is what he wants a sanction. Now see, he is not only seeking, but he is looking for, he is not only seeking, he is also looking for sanction. Sanction for what? Strength he is seeking. That is his prayer, that is his own hope. He is seeking the sanction that hope be fulfilled, that prayer be granted. That is the sanction he is seeking. The light of the truth now only seen for a strength from his high omnipotent source. A sanction from his high omnipotent source. The line says very clearly, he It is not a sanction from a high omnipotent source. It is from His high omnipotent source. What is the omnipotent source? That unknowable, whatever it is. Because He is incarnate. Incarnate. He knows. This shows the kind of work which Ashwapati is doing. It is the work of an avatar. He is high omnipotent source, the Supreme. The very important pronoun.
Is to refer to Ashwapati.
Yes. It's very important. You see, it makes a lot of difference. A sanction from a high omnipotent source is seeking. Okay, everybody can see.
No, but there is only one high omnipotent source.
Yeah, but who is seeking?
Mine and yours and his.
It is one. But then your thing, my thing, and his thing are different. How do you are from it?
Oh, they are different.
We are seeking a high omnipotent source, from a high omnipotent source. He is seeking from his own high omnipotent source.
It's different?
Yes.
How is it?
There is a difference. We are not coming directly from that high omnipotent source. See,
Because we didn't do the way like
because we are not avatars.
I understand.
At least not me. You see. That is why, it makes a distinction, clearly. One of the most remarkable statements. A sanction from His high omnipotent source.
This is a
Yeah. It is see, now is writing this thing. The sanction from a high omnipotent source is perfect English. But by putting His, it gives you a different occult content to your line. The occult content is different. His avatarhood is asserted. So he is sitting down with the hope, he is praying and all that kind of a thing, whatnot. But from the appalling heights, there stood no voice, no response. He is making a prayer. He is hoping that something will happen. But sorry, nothing. Although he is himself the incarnate. And neutral, helpless void oppressed the ears. Blank, total blank. Doesn't care at all anything. So that's a kind of oppression here. Why there is no response? No voice is coming down? Well, of course, you will explain, but let me tell you in advance. Because He is the incarnate. Therefore, there is no response. It looks little puzzling. He is incarnate, therefore there is no response. Incarnate means He has taken human birth. Incarnate means He has accepted all the conditions of mortality here. He is born in inconscience. there are elements, there are grace, there are this, so to say, still in him, possibly, of inconscience. After I have taken a physical birth here, I am born from this lower nature, from the inconscient nature, so some kind of a stuff is still there in me, so to say, and because that lingering trace of unconscious is there in me, that high voice refuses to come down. Sorry, I can't come down. That high voice refuses to come down. Because he is incarnate, although he comes from a high source, his own source, but when the pouring high, just to no void, the timeless lids were closed, no opening came. Because he has taken birth in time. He has taken birth in the moments of time. And neutral helpless void oppressed the ear, because in time, in the texture of our bound humanity, that is what he has got. The texture of humanity is still there in him. He has taken that human birth. In the texture of our bound humanity, he felt the stark resistance, huge and done, of our inconscient and unseeing being, the stubborn mute rejection in lives of death, the ignorant no is the origin of pain, the ignorant no is the origin of pain. The whole thing has come up from inconscience, and therefore believe that no there, he knows it. Because he has taken birth in bound humanity, that lingering trace of no is somewhere there in him, and therefore there is no response. The person who is going to respond is smart enough to see that this fellow still doesn't have the absolute nakedness of pure existence. The ignorant know in the origin of him, it is still lingering. See, this is the only way by which that ignorant no can be answered. The incarnate has to accept everything of this ignorance. Otherwise, how do you tackle that? How do you tackle that? The ignorant know in the origin of things. A great collaboration with the night, even in himself, survived and take from his view. Great collaboration with the night. Collaboration. Obviously, he has to collaborate with night, otherwise, how could he change night? He has to work in night, through night, to the process of night. He has to attend all those things. Otherwise, how can he work with night? Even if himself survived and hid from his view, still something in his earthly being kept his kinship with the inconscience, his kinship with the inconscience when it came. Whence it came? He came from inconscience, he had taken the human birth. So there is still some kind of a connection, link. This is there. His shadow. But that is necessary. That is the whole business of the avatar. Unless you identify yourself totally with this one, how can you change that thing? It is not by simply doing things from a distance. A shadowy unity with a vanished past, a shadowy unity with a vanished past. Vanished past. He has done all that yoga, but that birth of his in inconscience is the past. He has taken his birth in inconscience, that is not going to go away. And that, because we have taken the human birth, that unity with the past is still there. Treasured in an old world friend was lurking there. Old world frame. You see, this was how carefully every word is given and every detail is spelled out. Old world frame, the body movement of inconscient stuff, of inconscient nature, that is all stuff, secret, unnoted by the illumined mind. Illumined mind cannot understand that, cannot know that thing, cannot see it. And in subconscious whispers and in dream, still murmured, and the mind can spirit its joy. So because of that shadowy unity, it can become treacherous. You can slip while you are walking on the slippery ground, on a slippery soil, or slippery seas, you fall and stumble. Its treacherous element spread like slippery grains is all that inconscient stuff. Hoping the incoming truth might stumble and fall, it will make even truth stumble and fall. It's slippery grains. And old ideal voices wandering moan and plead for a heavenly leniency to the gracious imperfections of our. So, this is what say, well, we are like that, please save us. That is all. Let me not fall, but that is not going to bother about that thing. You have to still do your work here. And plead for a heavenly leniency, be lenient, be kind, accept my blemishes, my difficulties, and give me some help. Heaven is not going to oblige you easily like that. You have to do that thing yourself. You may go to God and say, I am a very bad fellow and all that thing, but still give me grace. It may happen, it may not happen also. And pray for heavenly leniency, heavenly kindness, to the gracious imperfections of our earth and the sweet weaknesses of our marriage. Sweet weaknesses, sweet. We are fond of our weaknesses. They are sweet to us. We love them. We cherish them. We hold them on, our weaknesses. We hold them on, you see. Of our mortal state. So he has understood the problem. He is standing there like an incarnate hope, praying like on a pedestal of peace there. There is no response. Nothing is happening because now he has understood, yes, he had taken the birth in the human condition. He has understood that thing. So unless that thing is now knocked off, he is sure that there will not be any response at all. There will not be any response at all. This now he will to discover and exile the element in him betraying God. This is what was betraying him. This was what was betraying him. His mortal birth, his identity, his unity, his oneness. You see, no. Shadow unity. He has understood that, look, I have taken this birth, I am now there. And so now he has to do something there for that. That is the greatest yogic act of Ashwapati. This now he will to discover and exile. Well, he will discover it. And he will exile it also. But that is not going to be a nightly task. That is a task on the way. Indeed, as an aspect of modus operandi, that is what he will do. This now he will to discover and exile the element in him, betraying God. So unless that is done, the voice is not going to respond. So you say, Mother, come and pray. You see. All nature's recondite spaces were stripped bare. So all which was hidden, which was concealed, which was not known, seen, recondite, they were kept open. There and all. All nature, he says nature, because he had taken the birth here in conscious nature. All nature's recondite spaces were stripped bare. All are dim crypts and corners served with fire. Every bit, every corner, every nook and corner, so to say, with the fire. Where refugee is staying and unsafe repose could shelter find in dark sanctuary against the white purity of heaven's cleansing flame. Heaven's flame, Agni Pavaka, cleansing flame, Agni Pavaka, Agni who purifies, Agni who purifies. So, gifts and God, search with fire, search with fire. What fire? The fire which is burning the soul of Pashupati. The divine Agni which is there in him. His psychic being, he himself is a flame. His psychic being, he himself is a flame. But this is more than psychic being alone. This is psychic being plus spirit. That is the flame. All are dimmed with her, of course, transform nature. Serve with fire, where refugee instinct and unsafe to. So we have got all kind of things, mental, vital, ambitions, etc., all those things are lying somewhere there. And it's dancing everywhere with the torch, so to say, you look for that and hit out. There refugee instincts and unsafe to behold, to shelter find in darkness of sanctuary against the white purity of heaven's cleansing flame. They remain sheltered somewhere. There are some little ambition somewhere, some greed is there, some desire is there. I want to become famous, I want to become a big writer, author, big speaker, whatever it is you see. That is lying somewhere there, hidden in us.
Human seeds.
He is lying there somewhere hidden in us. So, I want to become a big singer, whatever you see. Or you can even say that I want to become a great devotee of God. That itself is also a kind of an ambition. Great devotee of God, that also won't do. That also won't do. I don't want nothing. I don't want anything at all, you see. So, they find somewhere deep within the subconscious, hidden in the vital, somewhere lying there, you see, that is sacred. To shelter find in darkness of sanctuary, again the white purity of heaven's cleansing flame. So all that purification is a great mighty task. All seem to have perished, that was undivine. It seemed that it has gone away. What was not divine, it seemed so far that I am very pure and whatnot. All seem to have perished, that was undivine. Seemed. But sorry, it is not there. So that is the great contribution of that voice not responding to a prayer and hope. Please go home and do your homework properly, fully. Do your homework properly. So that is a contribution of the voice itself. I am sorry I have not come. You go and search for, I am not going to tell you, do this. No, you have to find out yourself and do it. You have to find out yourself and do it. Then she will be free to answer you. The prayer is not answered until then at all. With any element of desire, attachment, whatever it may be, prayer is not answered really. All seem to have perished, that was undefined, yet some minutest dissident might escape, you see, somewhere he might be there, and still a center left of the blind force that measures force might be still working within you somewhere, little bit of it, you don't know. Why? Why? Because the inconscient too is infinite. That is a great contribution of inconscient being infinite. Had it not been infinite, you would not have got perfect purity. You would not have got perfect purity, you see. It is good that inconscience is infinite. For the inconscient too, what a statement! What a statement! And how occult it is, how powerful it is. See, there is a purpose of the inconscient being infinite. Don't dismiss it. The more it insists to sound, the more it stretches endlessly. Endlessly. Goes on and on and on. Because it is infinite. So, in the scheme of things, there is a lot of wisdom in keeping inconscient infinite. Insist to sound. Sound means plug.
Hello.
Plug. Sound means the echo sound. That is sound. The sound is not sound in that sense. Sound is a plugging.
Drop the capital.
Yeah, this is sound.
The product will be. But what does it mean?
You know the depth of the water by dropping a stone.
Yes.
You see, that is sounding.
Why we insist to sound? Insist why?
No, it's not sound in that sense. Sound is a word, grammatical word in English. Sound means probe. In that sense.
So the deeper inconscient, the more we want to know what it is.
He is describing the more we insist to find out its depth, the more we insist to find out its depth, the more and more it comes down below.
The more we cannot do it.
Huh?
The more it goes away. The more.
You thought that you have reached the bottom of inconscience. But you are not really. There is still something below. Still something below. Still something below.
Never ending.
Escaping.
Yeah.
Stretches endlessly.
Stretches endlessly.
Yeah.
In other words, these two lines are explaining what infinity is.
We don't want to know. Deep hole.
You thought that you are reached the end of the world, but you are not. Still there is something beyond, still there is something beyond, still there is something beyond.
But does it become more and more dark?
It might, yeah. But then it is part of the question. If you have taken birth in that, it means that somehow something of that is still lingering in you. And you have to find out, you have to remove that thing if you want a response from above. The above is not going to oblige you if you are still keeping your lesson with dark things.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I know the Buddha said only the supermind can change.
That's true.
So, I mean, we have to have the supermind before.
No, Ashwapati has taken the birth as a seeker, incarnate.
As a seeker.
As a seeker, of course. And he has to seek and find out why I am hoping that something will happen. I am praying, but there is no response coming. Why? That is my dilemma. Why I am not getting a response at all from the Supreme? It means that there is still something negative in me, and because of the presence of the negative in me, I am not getting the answer.
Okay.
And therefore I am now on the path, I am now on the lookout, what is it that is relative in me? I start searching myself, here. Basically in my mind, in my vital, in my physical, in my whatever. But because I have taken birth, the inconscient, it means that I am inheriting the quality, the base of the inconscient nature. Somewhere still they are still lingering. I have purified all right, but that purification does not seem to be sufficiently pure.
So only when the person, my person, is completely pure,
Then only the response will come.
without inconscience, in myself,
Yeah.
then
Then the response will come.
and then it's possible to
Obviously, if you are still keeping darkness in your heart, you don't think that Superman will come and oblige you.
will not come.
No.
But it
The
is
purification is a part of your job.
has to be done before.
Obviously.
But I thought,
See, otherwise what will happen? Whatever might, suppose I am holding something inconscient in me.
yes, we all do that.
How you do it? But okay, as an example I'm giving you. Now if something comes here, what happens? Where does it go? It might get swallowed by the inconscience. It is not your game at all.
So
No. It is not your game then at all.
it's going away.
Yeah. Yes.
That way.
In a way, see, the inconscience is back home. Yes.
This is that way.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
So this completely starts when we attend the lab, and he knows that now he has incarnate and fulfilled his mission.
Yes.
So at that point he knows where he is going down.
Yeah.
So why is he worried about this?
No.
He knows that he is going back to this part of the inconscient.
You see, I am approaching the Divine Mother is always there, even if you are ignorant, if you are stupid, you are foolish, whatever. You can go and approach and surrender also. But the answer will not come at the time you want unless certain stipulations, certain demands of hers are met in you.
When he chooses his mission, he can immediately inconscient and he starts
Because you see, because
he forget where he attends, no?
no, the word, that is why he uses, that is,
Because of all these coming down, no? No, but he wanted that.
no, that you see,
But it looks here like it is surprising what he is. Yes.
because he has taken the human birth,
Yeah.
incarnate hope, incarnate is the crucial word there.
Yeah.
It means that he has completely identified himself with this inconscient world.
Okay.
Now when he is doing the sadhana, he has to see that all that is there in him as inconscient is thrown away. Until that, the response will not come.
Like Fabio.
Well, that is what Shivam says, painful work.
Yeah.
Shivam says, painful work. He writes, painful work, you see. In fact, we are coming to that. Here, this is a very big statement. The inconscient too is infinite, obviously. And it is good that the inconscient, as I said, logically, it is a part of greater wisdom that the inconscient is made infinite. So that every bit, every small, whatever there in you is exposed to the higher light. You don't want to hide something behind and then ask for the higher light to come. But the inconscient too is infinite. This is a very powerful line. In fact, most authors line. The more it insists to sound. Sound means plumbing, exploring. in this exploring. The more stretches endlessly, then lesser human cry would spoil the truth. He tore desire up from his bleeding roots and offered the God the vacant place. So what did he find? There was a desire in him. Somewhere there was kind of a desire working in him. In yoga, the problem, the difficulty, the obstacle, so to say, was that he was having some desire somewhere in him. And it is that desire which is spoiling the whole thing. A human cry, that desire, should spoil the truth. He tore desire up from his bleeding root, most painful work, and offered to the gods the vacant. Because he had not removed that desire, the place has become vacant. Now, yes, God, please come and occupy the place.
Now I understand why he said it was
Now that is the beauty here. Desire. Did Ashwapati still have desire? Did Ashwapati still have desire?
Now we understood that
He has found that there is a desire still in him and that was coming in the way.
Yes.
Because the desire, the higher power was not responding. It means that he was still having desire in him.
He feels that he realized to not have.
No, but so with all his yoga, with all the great things he has done, still he is having desire in him.
No, he didn't say he has.
I must have children, I must write books, I must do this, I must do that, some kind of a desire. No, he was having a purposeful desire in him. Purposeful desire in him. A worse desire he was carrying with him to the Supreme.
The desire was to transform the planet.
He was carrying a worse desire with him, and that desire itself is now coming in the way.
It's a positive desire.
Yeah. Yes, he was having the desire. Yes, she must take birth, that itself is desire. He is carrying the burden of the desire in him, and that desire itself is coming the way. I should not have even the desire to invoke her and do something. I should not carry the burden of this world and go on.
Yeah, this is strange.
All should do absolutely nothing of their own.
This is strange, no?
A kind of a luminous blankness is what we require. Absolute luminous blankness. A vacuum, so to say. Not even that desire. He was carrying the desire. He had taken the entire Odyssey with a purpose. That purpose itself is there, lingering in him. And therefore this lady is smart enough to detect that he is carrying a purpose. He is not responding. She is not responding. She won't respond. Sorry, Ashwapati has come, but forget even that desire. Then lesser human cry should spoil the truth. He told desire. What a powerful word he has used. Told desire. Up from his bleeding roots and offered to the God the vacant place. How do they translate? In French? No, this sentence.
All this,
Yes.
he said the interaction of everything. You want to read it in French?
Yes.
Alors, le crainte que quelque peur leur humaine vienne pousser la vérité, même si,
Uh,
In this,
No, because this is the hand, the hand, the hand to get the floor, human gets on the way. To not have any human cry.
Yeah, that's it.
And remove the truth. He told the design.
No, but
I'm saying, I told you, he doesn't have desire, but to not have it, I mean, he told from the root, you know.
that first comes in French.
Yes, arraché.
Yeah, so that's right. Yeah. No, let's say human cry. See that human cry, that is because he is incarnate, he has taken the birth in humanity.
Yeah.
He is identified. So whatever traces of humanity are still there in him, they have to go away, They should not spoil what is their thought.
He doesn't have yet the desire, I understand, because the human cry is when the baby comes and becomes manifest.
No,
That's what I mean.
No.
Before we become human,
no.
it's something. So what is the human?
See, there is a cry in him to save, to help this world. He is carrying the world's desire with him. He is carrying the world's desire with him.
So, but this is a good thing.
No, but this lady says, I'm sorry, I don't want anything of that kind.
Even that,
No. He finds that is the only thing now which is coming in the way. Now she is not responding. He is standing like a pedestal up there. Like an incarnate whole standing there. No response. Sorry, get out. I am not going to oblige you. Go back home and do your homework. And what he discovers is that he was carrying a desire in him. The desire, those desire, that was a burden he was carrying with him. No, don't come even with that. And offered to God the vacancy, thus could he bear the touch immaculate, one that was emptied out. Then, in other words, in the presence of that desire in him, he would not be able to bear the touch immaculate. He would not be able to bear. And therefore, the last and mightiest transformation came. Mightiest. To remove, you see, transformation came. Last, absolute last. We are doing all this work with a certain purpose, with a certain intention. You are carrying the word desire with you, but that itself is a burden of inconscience on you. Give up even that. And he is now free of even those traces. His soul was all in front, like a great to see. So now what I remember is only the soul. Nature was there, the lingering traces of nature were there, humanity was there. He told him off, and now his soul was all in front, like a great to see, playing the mind and body with his being. His being spread to embrace the universe, uniting the within and the without, to make of life a cosmic harmony, an empire of the immanent and divine, an empire of the divine. Universe, what Ashupati has achieved now is a tremendous universality, because his soul is like a great sea, embracing everything, universality. Not only his soul nature and mind sense included every soul and mind in his, but even the life of flesh and nerve that came and grew one flesh and nerve with all that life. That is the universality he has achieved now. that is the sea, and grew one flesh, and nourished with all that live. He fell to the joy of others as his joy. Once he has vacated that place, he has uprooted that desire, suddenly he finds that he has now become one with everybody. He felt the joy of others as his joy. He bore the grief of others as his grief. His universal sympathy above immense like ocean, the creation's load. As earth upbears, all being sacrificed, trained the hidden transcendent to joy and peace. Like as earth upbears, or what a simile is given. Earth is upbearing everything. Earth, Dharani, who holds everything. Dharani, support the Dharani as earth. All being sacrificed, it is she who is bearing the sacrifice of everybody who is supreme. Because he has now identified himself with everybody, saying the hidden transcendent joy and peace. There was no more divisions, endless scroll. So that universality means, of course, there is no division now. The division is gone. One grew the spirit's secret unity. So it is everywhere you find Vasudeva Sarvam Vidhi, everywhere Vasudeva, 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 everywhere one grew the spirit's secret unity. All nature. Now this secret unity, even in the physical, even in the substantial matter, all nature felt again the single bliss. So it is the same bliss which is there everywhere. There was no cleavage between soul and soul. There was no barrier between world and God. So that the moment that desire has been uprooted, the division between world and God has vanished. So these are the consequences of his uprooting, putting out the desire. Overpower the form and memory's limiting line. The covering mind was seized and torn apart. It was dissolved, and now no more could be its mind. It was dissolved, and now no more could be. The true consciousness that made the world was seen. The one consciousness that made the world, because that unity now, the one consciousness that made the world was seen. All now was luminosity and soul. All now with luminosity and force. So these are the consequences of taking out that desire.
When he got this state,
When did he get?
He get it right after.
This must have happened much earlier, in the early part of his life,
Yeah.
of his sadhana, maybe around 911.
11.
Yes,
And he was always like
yeah, yes, maybe around that. When that purity was then absolute purity, then things started happening. Painful, hard, painful work, difficult and painful work. That is what he had done. All was luminosity and force. That is why there is the purity of his expression everywhere afterwards. In the life divine and his Arya writing, he had that force everywhere, absolutely flawless. Open any page, any sentence, any word. Abolition is last thing, fainting trade. The circle with the little self was gone. The separating could no more be felt. It disappeared, and new self no more. lost in the spirit's wide identity. Well, these are now elaborations of that experience of taking the desire out completely. So that is a crucial space, you see, whole thing. His nature grew by movement to the all. Again, this is collaborating, movement to all, that unity, that identity, that oneness of consciousness everywhere, one bliss everywhere, exploring yourself to find that all was He. Vasudeva, that is a great Vasudeva experience, you see. In fact, this Vasudeva experience was in maybe around August 1908 in the jail. Exploring himself to find that all was He. His soul was a delegation of the all that turned from itself to join the one supreme. Turned itself. He had taken the mortal birth, he is turning up now back to the supreme. Turned. Transcendent was the human formula. Well, these are now relatively straightforward, you see. Transcendent was the human formula. Man's heart that had obscured the inviolable, assumed the mighty beatings of God. Even man's heart now is beating the way the heart of God beats. Man's heart that had obscured the inviolable, assumed the mighty beating of God. His seeking mind sees in the truth that knows. Sees in the truth that knows. So mind is not thinking now of itself. What the mind is thinking is what that truth is thinking. His life, so he has assumed, he has tossed off the heart of the human formula, mind and life. His life was the flow of the universal life. So that is the kind of universality now he has got. The moment he has removed that desire, as if the desire was confining himself to himself, he stood fulfilled on the world's highest line. That is the reward of his sadhana, of his yoga. Fulfilled the fruit, the fructification of his yoga. He stood fulfilled. So what a great contribution she has done by not responding to his prayer immaturely. He stood fulfilled in the world's highest line, on the verge of the transcendent and the unknowable, awaiting the ascent beyond the world, awaiting the descent, the world to save. Who is awaiting? Awaiting the ascent beyond the world, awaiting the descent, the world to save. So that is a double purpose. The ascending triangle and the descending triangle. And the fulfillment is here, on the highest line of the world. A splendor and a symbol wrapped the earth. Serene epiphanies looked and hallowed vast surrounded. Wise infinitives were close and bright. A splendor and a symbol wrapped the earth. Serene epiphanies looked and hallowed vast surrounded. Wise infinitives were close and bright goodness gleamed near and thin. Sense failed in the tremendous lucency. Actually, our senses do not really grow and sense things in luminosity. When there is a brightness, This sense cannot really understand what it is. It fails to see. Then it happens in our case also. When there is a great dazzling light, your eye can't see anything. Your eye can't see anything at all. It is blinded with light. Sense fade that tremendous sensation. Ephemeral voices from his hearing fell, and thought potent Namo sank large and pale, like a tired god into mysterious sea. Tired God into mysterious sea. Who is tired God? Thought. Thought is a tired God now. Into mysterious, he is sinking now into mysterious sea. The robes of marvel thinking were cast down, leaving his knowledge bare to absolute sight. Face thriving seas and nature's sleeping spur. Nature's sleepless spur. She is taunting you all the while, spurring you. Face driving seas and nature's sleepless spur. The athletic healings, the will was still in the omnipotence, unmoving peace. In the omnipotence, unmoving peace, everything comes to standstill. Life in his members lay down vast and new there in his physical, naked, unwalled, unterrified, it bore immense regard of immortality. Life is now in him looking at immortality. Life in his members lay down vast and new, naked, unwalled, unterrified, it bore the immense regard of immortality. The last moment died, and all at once grew still. We have described physical, vital, mental, everything has stopped now. The last moment died, and all at once grew still. The weight that was the unseen transcendence hand laid on his limb the Spirit's measureless sea. Infinity swallowed him into shoreless strand. So his prayer was now answered. He was standing still on a pedestal, firm and all that. The last moment died, and all at once grew still. A weight that was the unseen transcendence hand. So actually it is the transcendence himself who is putting that hand on him at this point. Whatever the hand of the saint is there on his head. A weight that was the unseen transcendence hand laid on his limb, the Spirit's measureless sea. Infinity swallowed him into shoreless strands. So that is the great reward he is getting now.